Do you have proof?
Yes, we can pull it up. Yeah, name whatever study you want right now, and I'll pull up the methodology, and I can guarantee you that if we look on the offenses by offense list, is it, oh, this white dude, he went in and he stole a car, and he got 1 year, okay, and this black guy got 10 years. That's not fair. And you know what's often left out? That's his 15th crime, and that's why he got the higher sentence. That's what I've noticed when I look at that data. But the thing, I'm willing to look at whatever data you got. I'm happy.
All right. I mean, do you personally experience a fear of black people?
Well, it's not a fear of black people. It's an understanding. And by the way, do you know who taught me this? Black men. They were the ones who taught me this. Because you know who's the least likely to walk around a group of young black men they don't know? Black men. That's the wildest shit, but it's true.
I think depending on the area, yeah.
Yeah,
I think it highly depends on the area. Yeah. I believe that black men are arrested for rape more. 100%.
At three times the rate?
Yes, but I don't think they commit it more than white men.
Based on what? Just like your gut feeling?
Sexual assault rates are pretty consistent across races.
No, they're not. No, they're not. They're not.
Except for indigenous women.
No, just not at all. They're not consistent.
All right.
Like, for instance, Asians, they commit the least amount of it. They commit the least amount in the United States of sexual assaults. Right? Now, that's true that they consistently commit the least amount. I'm willing to agree with that. Mm-hmm. But that would obviously have a logical entailment that black men commit the most amount, right? That would be the entailment there. So, like, if we're saying that it's the rates are consistent, so Asians are consistently low, then wouldn't that put like black men at consistently high?
I would be curious about that because if we look at
so Asians are consistently low, then wouldn't that put like black men at consistently high?
I would be curious about that because if we look at like Korea and Japan, where SA is kind of like so severe to the point that like women in Japan have their own like train carts. I would be curious if that has to do again with people feeling pressure to conceal these sorts of things, being less likely to loyalty to
because those
family.
Cultures are fucking perverted as shit because they're godless. And that's one thing that people forget about is like it's like how Japan has all the laws where they have the fucking young girls walking around in the mini skirts at all of the schools and the principals, they're always for it, right? They sell women's underwear out of vending machines. They have massive porn shops where you start on the bottom floor and as you continue to ascend, it goes to worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and more hardcore porn. It's a very perverted society.
Well, I lived in Nevada for 6 years, so this feels a little...
Nevada's not as perverted as Japan.
Reno, there was porn shops everywhere. It's been cleaned up now?
I lived in Reno, too, and no, there wasn't.
It's been cleaned up now.
There wasn't. I was there 20 years ago. There was not.
20? Okay, well, what part of Reno did you... Well, I mean, you don't
What do you mean? Reno's not big enough for us to be quibbling about parts, okay?
Well, at least when I was a kid, there was a whole lot of naked ladies everywhere.
Yeah, there was strip clubs. There's still strip clubs. There was prostitution houses that you had to go to way outside of Reno. And then...
Bunny Farm, yeah.
Yeah, and then...
they do weird things there.
Okay, well, I don't care, and that's gross. But anyway, The point is that inside of Reno proper, no, it looks like a pretty normal city. There's a couple of extra strip clubs in the downtown area. But no, it was never like an overly gross city.
If we Googled youth pastor crime... I feel I've done this before. It's all sex crimes. So I feel like if we are saying that Japan and Korea are perverse because they are godless, I think that we should look at the rate of like essays committed in churches.
As long as we can look at the amount of essays committed in public schools, Charlie.
Sure, yeah,
by
we
teachers.
can absolutely do that.
And so the thing is like, wouldn't it stand to reason that predators go where the prey is?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, then why wouldn't they move into being youth pastors to get access to children, just like they go to public schools to get access to children?
Of course, but those are people that we assume believe in God.
And we assume that the secular ethics held by teachers, same ethics that you hold, right, are that they're not going to diddle kids, but they fucking do.
Well, I mean, what percentage of teachers are atheist? To be fair, I grew up in a very religious area.
Highly secular.
Okay.
Public schools are highly secularized, where well, first of all, the school system itself is secular, period.
Yeah, of course.
It's removed from religion.
Yeah.
How many identify as being Christian in the school system who are women? Most of them are college educated. And as you know, the rates of not believing in God among the college educated are pretty high.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah.
But I also think it does highly depend on which area that you are.
Well, yeah, everything depends
like I think
on
cities are going to.
Yeah,
be
they depend on
very
areas,
secular.
but that would be the same thing for the youth pastor. You know, that's going to depend on area too. So the point
SA
is,
rates?
yeah,
is going to depend on area for
Sure.
youth pastors.
of course, just like it would for
Why?
public schools. Of course.
No, I think the SA rates would remain the same. What I mean is religion.
I don't think they do remain the same. Depending on demographic, it's not going to remain the same. Like, for instance, I would say that in minority schools, the chances of molestations probably increase.
Yeah.
So then, no, that's
Well,
not.
because who's going to listen to those kids?
Yeah, so it doesn't stay the same then. That's my point.
We have some chats coming through, so we'll take a break for those.
Indigenous peoples fight over land?
Yes.
Yes, correct. But were they colonizing the areas where they
Yes.
settled in?
If they were
No.
migrating, one ethnic group migrating to another land which was already occupied, they were colonizing it. Natives did it all the fucking time. Constantly. They moved all over. The Plains Indians did it all the time. The Pueblo Nations did it all the time. The South American, very far South American tribes did it all the time. They were constantly fighting.
Do you think that that is the kind of language that the average person would use to describe what the Native Americans did?
Yeah, I think if it was explained to them, they
would
would,
think that
yes.
they would say
I
they-
think
they
that what's happened
colonized the
is a bunch of
US.
you bullshit artists gave us the myth of the noble savage.
Is that from the Gracie Strangler?
It's the myth of the noble savage. The idea.
No, I know what the noble
Yeah,
savage is.
and it's a myth.
I am incredibly well aware that there were many indigenous tribes
Yeah.
that were very violent.
It's not just
and
that.
fought.
No.
Yes,
No.
I'm
That doesn't
aware.
capture.
I'm aware that they took land from each other
That doesn't
and fight.
even begin to capture. No. They weren't just very violent. Why don't you tell the truth? They were raping kids. Why don't you tell the truth that they were taking people on top of pyramids and cutting their fucking hearts out and sacrificing it to Ra? Like, these weren't, it wasn't just like, they were a little different than us. They were a little more violent. They were, no, they weren't the same. It was a completely different people group.
Do you think Europeans
And they were
are not
fucking
capable of
colonizers.
violence?
Yeah, the whole different brand.
Do you know what?
Whole different brand. If I came across a people group that was sacrificing human beings and also essaying little kids, I'd fucking take them out too.
Well, pagan nations or pagans allegedly have done things like that.
And the Christians converted them from their heathenistic barbarians ways, didn't
Do you
they?
think that the Spanish Inquisition was civil?
No. The Spanish Inquisition was Catholics in a single region. It was a single region. When
Yeah, but what they did
Catholicism
to each
owned the
other-
whole world.
What they did to each other was that civilized?
No, of course not.
It was crazy.
Yeah, I agree.
It was awful.
But you're also talking about an organization which spanned the entire world and controlled it,
Sure.
and one region of it had issues like that. It's
I'm
like
just bringing up an example
the United
of Christians
States
doing bad things.
Yeah,
Like, it's not
Christians
just because
do
they're
bad
indigenous.
things. But again, if I were to come across a society that did that was doing that type of shit, I completely understand why they got fucking wiped out. I get it.
Well, the Aztecs, yes. There were indigenous
And the
tribes
Mayans.
that were.
And the Incas. And I mean, but the
I don't
list
think
goes
that
on
the
and on.
Mayans were not. They were not as violent. The Aztecs.
Yes, the Mayans were very
Aztecs
violent.
Pretty much take the cake. I feel like for
Okay.
the most.
Well,
part.
whatever. The point is like,
But the
look,
indigenous tribes.
they
that
were
oppressed
colonizers,
by
is
them.
my point. And feminists have been lying to people for years, and so have progressive leftists, and pretending that Europeans came here and colonized these poor people's lands and took them over. They were already colonizers. So who do they get? Who would you have recommended they give the land back to? Like, who should they have given it back to?
That would have to be determined by them.
Yeah, because we
However-
stole their stolen land.
But
Did we
it's-
steal their
it is-
stolen
it
land?
is-
Like, when
Like,
you
this
say
is integral to American
when
history,
you
though, that
say-
we were colonies that rebelled.
well, when you say
against our-
colonizer, you mean a colony, right?
Yes, foreign people that live in a colony established by a foreign state that they are
Or-
under the jurisdiction of, that
or-
exists primarily for trade purposes.
Or an ethnic group which goes to an already settled area, right, and begins to settle it against the will of the people in the
But
settled
there's the
area.
suggestion of trade and of a foreign nation being in
It doesn't-
control of that area.
It doesn't have to be. That's not definitionally true.
I mean, I guess very technically, but that's not how people would use it.
It's not how you leftists use it because you want to pretend. You want to pretend that the natives weren't colonizers themselves when they were, because they were.
I think it's referring.
The other big Asian, the Mongols, right? When they began to roam, if they decided that they were going to start building on other people's lands, even though they didn't have a central land, they were reporting to. Weren't they colonizing that land?
I mean, if it was all under the jurisdiction of their leader, yeah, I would say so.
Then the same thing happened with the natives. That's the same thing. They had leadership inside their tribes. They traversed these massive land bridges over the span of hundreds and thousands of years. So they were consistently colonizing the same lands, Charlie. Same shit.
I just don't think it.
You don't think it
doesn't-
because
it
then
doesn't
people can
follow.
call Native Americans colonizers and it'll piss them off. That's
Even
why.
if you said that, it wouldn't even be in the same context of white.
Yeah, because there is a
colonizers, of
moral
American
moral
colonizers.
equivalency to be gained there. Yes, it's like, why is it okay that they can do it as long as there's no like other nation they report to, as long as they just do it because their tribe tells them to. It's the same shit.
I mean, are they busting in and taking land from people?
Yes.
And slaughtering them?
Yes, they
Like-
were. Yes, they were busting in and taking land and killing fucking people. Yes, and by the way, the natives did that.
Yes, I'm well aware.
Yeah, constantly. What do you mean? Yeah, they
But
did
was
that.
it in service of that foreign state that would have control over
It
those
doesn't
colonies?
need to be. That's where you're definitionally just lying because you want white people to be bad.
I don't want white people to be bad.
Then
I
why
just
did you
think it's
admit
different.
that you're just trying to when you say the colonizer, you're just same shit.
I just don't think it.
You don't think it
doesn't-
because
it
then
doesn't
people can call
follow.
Native Americans colonizers and it'll piss them off. That's
Even
why.
if you said that, it wouldn't even be in the same context of white.
Yeah, because there is a
American
moral
colonizers.
equivalency to be gained there. Yes, it's like, why is it okay that they can do it as long as there's no like other nation they report to, as long as they just do it because their tribe tells them to. It's the same shit.
I mean, are they busting in and taking land from people?
Yes.
And slaughtering them?
Yes, they
Like-
were. Yes, they were busting in and taking land and killing fucking people. Yes, and by the way, the natives did that.
Yes, I'm well aware.
Yeah, constantly. What do you mean? Yeah, they
But
did
was
that.
it in service of that foreign state that would have control over
It
those
doesn't
colonies?
need to be. That's where you're definitionally just lying because you want white people to be bad.
I don't want white people to be bad.
Then
I
why
just
did you
think it's
admit
different.
that you're just trying to, when you say the colonizer, you're using it as a disparaging insult towards white people? That's how you use
Well,
it.
I didn't say it. I said it is typically in a negative context when that word is
Towards
used.
who? White people.
Usually white people.
Yeah,
Yes.
usually white people.
Usually white people.
Yeah,
sure.
so that's
But it's
the
also
thing.
a fact, man.
All
I
right.
don't know what to say. I don't know
It's
what
also
to
a
tell
fact that Indians did it, Charlie, and you're fucking. This is why
I am well aware
this
of
is
the
why I
history
hate
of
feminist-
violence and slavery.
This is why I hate
committed
feminist
by indigenous
revisionism.
people. I am very well aware
All right.
of that indigenous peoples participated in rape, torture, slavery, and violence. I'm super aware of it. You
Mm-hmm.
don't need to tell me that.
Got it. Right, and when I see
Mm-hmm.
that, I know for sure everybody knows who's watching it, right? We can intuit it out in seconds, and when we put you to the question, we figure it out even faster, that it's anti-white rhetoric masked as being historically accurate. And it's like, it's really not either of those things. It really is just a way for progressives to utilize anti-white rhetoric and pretend that they're not being a bunch of fucking racist assholes. That's what I think. That's what I think is going on.
But those things happened.
Yeah, but when I tell you about things that happened, right, with Native Americans, you're very quick to make excuses for it. And yet, here when it comes to colonization, the idea that you had a clash of cultures, and anytime two cultures clash, this is what happens. Anytime. When you have a disparage between technology,
yes,
it's always the case.
I believe it. Again, my point on the colony just has to do with the foreign state, jurisdiction of a foreign state.
Yeah, that's one definition
that
of
is-
colonizing. I agree that these were colonies.
Okay.
I agree that they were beholden to a state, and then they fought for freedom and formed a new state. So then they were no longer colonizers. They were born on this land. They were settlers. Well, no, at that point, they weren't even settlers. It was their land, right? It was theirs. They fought for it. They got it.
I guess by, yes, European standards, they had claimed the land. Correct.
by all standards. Who has a standard that if you fight and take the land, it's not yours? What culture has that standard?
I
All
was
of them
thinking
do.
more about boundaries. I mean, it could be fought back. They could say, this is our land, we'll take it back, you know? Like, but
Yeah.
I think
All right.
indigenous peoples would disagree.
We have
message